but we have by far the most firearms in the world. We're not even the highest mass shootings per capita. Next conversation.
And keep them.
People on the streets do not need to be carrying assault weapons of any kind. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, they're made for war. They're not made for just anybody to be able to buy one.
And how would you define that? Like, if you had to make legislation and say these guns are banned, they count as assault rifles, weapons, I don't know which terminology you want to use, but, like, what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, background checks, like, there needs to be more,
You're not answering the question.
going into checking out who's actually buying these guns, and, like, mental health is such an issue in this country, and these people with severe mental health issues have access to these assault rifles, and that's why school shootings keep happening. So something has to change.
It's interesting. I mean, she's partially there when it comes to focusing on the mental health. A lot of people have trouble understanding that removing somebody's firearm doesn't cure, a homicidal mania. Giving them the ability to own a firearm or a car or whatever it may be, we could use the example of the Waukesha parade where Daryl Brooks rammed down
Brooks is a
dozens
bozo,
of people, killing minimum 6.
a radicalist,
These
a
items,
bigot.
these inanimate objects, don't create the homicidal mania. It's the fact that we have so many homicidal
And the
maniacs.
inanimate objects are not evil. The guns are not evil. The cars, whatever, the things that people use as weapons are not evil. The certain people that use the cars, the guns are evil. A gun cannot talk. A car cannot talk. A knife, you know what I mean? Yo, certain people be bugging, man. They don't be thinking logically, bro. They don't be thinking logically.
Dozens of people.
A lot of people are bots, bro.
These items, these
You know what I mean?
inanimate
Brainwashed,
objects, don't create the
programs,
the example of the
You feel me?
Waukesha parade
NPCs,
where
bro.
Daryl Brooks rammed down dozens of people, killing minimum 6. These items, these inanimate objects, don't create the homicidal mania. It's the fact that we have so many homicidal maniacs in the country that are just being completely ignored by their communities. And not just by communities, but also local officials as well. So she did technically avoid answering that question of defining what the assault weapon was. She was saying assault weapon. The reason why Nuancebro is kind of asking this question is because a lot of people don't seem to understand exactly what that is or what they're talking about. Because when you really get down to it, it seems as though the argument that they're making can be made for just about every single firearm. Because the problem that they are trying to address is the homicidal maniacs in society. Homicidal maniacs can use anything to hurt people.
knives.
It seems like you
You know
support
what I mean?
background checks, mental health checks, but again, what is an assault weapon rifle? How would you define that if we were to, like, ban those? You say those types of guns you can't
I
have.
mean, guns made for, like, mass destruction, right? Like, there's a difference between those kinds of guns and guns that are handheld, just meant for protection. Like, I'm not really for guns, period, but I mean, there's a huge difference between an assault rifle that's meant for mass destruction and killing a mass amount of people than a handheld gun that's just meant to protect yourself or your family.
Well, for example, we're here because of a school shooting that happened here in Nashville. The deadliest school shooting in America. Do you know what it is and when it happened?
Was it Columbine?
No.
No.
This dad only trusts SeatGeek with the tickets. Because the sooner she's
2 pistols and killed 32 people, 33 people total, including the perpetrator. So when these people are making this argument of weapons of mass destruction, referring to a semi-auto rifle in that way is a little over the top. But what they're trying to say is this gun is scarier and more deadly, and there are differences between rifles and pistols. We get that. But what they're saying is this will stop the shooting. And is that true? Is that true? Will it stop the shooting? Or are you just banning a firearm that tens of millions of Americans own? Because the largest school shooting in U.S. history was Virginia Tech. Would it have stopped Virginia Tech?